All right, everybody, how's it going? It is September 21st, 2021, and of course, it is a Tuesday. And yeah, it's a little bit later than usual when we'd be uploading the picks video, but I was a little bit busy with other things this afternoon. So, whatever. It's better late than never, I guess you could always say. So, here we are. It's week 3 of the NFL Pick'em. It's Tuesday, September 21st. I already said that. We're doing a lot. We did a lot better this week. We went 10-6. We had 2 upsets this week with the Bengals and the Lions that didn't really pan out, and then 4 games that really just didn't go our way. The Seahawks, the Raiders. Not really mad about those picking. Seahawks and Steelers. Not really mad about picking them. And there was 2 other ones that just the Saints, Panthers looked really good. And then one other small game I can't really remember. So again, I did pretty good this week. Brings my total record to 16-16. So hopefully this week we can improve on that. Just so you're aware, I didn't really pick any like crazy upsets. I think I have 1 game against the favorites. But once you see some of the matchups this week, you'll understand why it'd be weird to just pick upsets for the sake of picking upsets, unless you really believe that a certain team is going to get upset this week. So anyway, let's jump into Thursday Night Football. It's a real barn burner. It is the Carolina Panthers. It's the Carolina Panthers playing the Houston Texans in Houston. The Panthers are one of the surprise 2-0 teams this season, and the Texans are 1-1. And I think they just lost Tyrod Taylor for the next game, so he's out for an extended period of time. So that's a big part of the reason why I'm picking the Panthers to win this game. Short week, short turnaround. Now they have to go with Mills at quarterback. Normally, you kind of lean toward the home team on a Thursday night. But right now, with the way the Panthers have been playing, they just shut down the Saints, who looked really good after week 1. The Panthers themselves looked pretty good in week 1. And they kind of continued that into week 2. And against the weak Texans defense, I could see that continuing into week 3. While the Texans really kind of have looked good on offense, I really don't know what they're about to look like with this guy at quarterback. So I can't really pick them right now. It's just there's so many questions now about the offense that was already pretty questionable. Taylor had them playing out of their minds, but without him, it's kind of hard to determine what the Texans are going to look like. And apparently this Panthers team is a lot better than what a lot of people thought they were going to be, including myself, in terms of what they can do on defense. So I mean, watch out for Carolina. They're kind of a force to be reckoned with so far this season. Let's see how long that lasts for. Hopefully a little bit longer, but all right. Not really too much to say on this. Again, the lines are from FanDuel. They're just there for people who like to have them. Again, if you use my videos to try to gamble or bet on them, I would just recommend you use another source or 2, just so I'm not the only thing costing you money or something like that, or of the other. But yeah, so if you do use this, use other stuff as well to kind of back yourself up. And always wait till, the day of to bet, but unless you want to bet now. But Panthers had a 7.5 point line with an over-under of 43.5. All right, let's go into the 1 o'clock games on Sunday. To lead it off, we have the Colts playing the Titans. This one's in Tennessee, so slight favor to the home team. The Colts are 0-2, and they've kind of struggled this season with weird injuries and just inconsistent play. And the Titans, they snuck that one out late against the Seahawks last week to go to 1-1. The Titans are 5.5 point favorites with an over-under of 48.5. By the way, I don't make picks before I see the lines, or I make my picks before I see the lines. So I'm never really influenced by who's the favorite, if that makes any sense. But this week just happened to be all my picks lined up with the favorites. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they never line up, and sometimes it's just I hit all the favorites. But some of these lines make sense. With the Colts kind of dealing with the injury to Carson Wentz and no one really knowing if he's going to miss this week, if they're going to have to go Eason, because he's got injuries to both ankles, and they were bad enough that he couldn't play in the last of that game. So you have to imagine he might have to miss a week or 2 with those injuries. And even if he does play, how good is he going to be able to play against Tennessee in a tough divisional game? It's in Tennessee. All these things seem to factor in the favor of the Titans, who seem to come to life all of a sudden late in that game against Seattle. A lot like Green Bay did in the second to half-ish. Their defense just turned it on, and their offense kind of woke up about. They were pretty good. Whatever. We'll get to that game. We'll get to Green Bay, but. I see the Titans looking pretty good on offense, handling themselves. The Colts have a rather difficult defense that'll keep them in the game. But yeah, this is kind of what I feel like. I feel like the Titans will win 28-17, especially if the Colts have to run out a backup quarterback and not Carson Wentz. I don't even know if I'd pick them if Carson was a starter. All right, well, here's the rule on this channel. We don't pick the Falcons, and that's been 2 free wins this season. and I don't really see this as any different. The Falcons play the Giants. Both teams are 0-2. Giants looked really close last week, but a heartbreaking field goal situation kind of cost them the game. And then, of course, the Falcons have just, they got blown out week 2 pretty bad after kind of being close, and then it just fell apart on them. So you kind of have to look at, like, I don't know. I don't pick I'm not going to go into this game because I just don't pick the Falcons. So it looks like the Giants might win their first game of the season this week. At least they have a very good opportunity at it. And as long as they just don't blow it, like in some stupid fashion like they did last week, they should win this game. But they're playing the team of just that does stuff stupidly. So I would just take the Giants in this one. There's no real reason to, but Giants are better than them, and you just don't pick the Falcons. All right, this is a pretty good game, good divisional game. The Chargers play the Chiefs in Kansas City. We have to give a slight nod to the home team in the divisional games. While I do think this is a split, I don't think it's good to say Kansas City's going to lose at home, especially after a tough loss to the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be hungry and not wanting to lose 2 straight. Chiefs are 6.5-point favorites with an over/under of 55.5, and I would be going with the Chiefs here. There's been some slight struggle with the Chargers. I've noticed that no one's really. It feels like no one's really talked about. It seems like their offense is having some trouble getting going and getting everything together and getting comfortable under a new system that they're in now that Anthony Lynn's gone, and that things are slightly different. Or completely different with the new regime in charge. So we're seeing some growing pains. It makes me wonder, like, what's going on when they struggled to score against Washington, and then the Giants hung almost 30 on that same Washington defense. So I'm kind of like, well, there's something here. The Chargers might have a little bit of like growing pains in this new offense to work through. And I'm thinking if anything, that's what's going to hold them back in this game against the Chiefs, who are going to be out to like repair a bruised ego after a pretty tough loss to the Ravens. So I see the Chiefs winning this one pretty good. Now, again, if this was in Los Angeles like it is later in the season, it's pretty easy to see. You could go with the Chargers in a crazy upset. I could see a lot of people picking the Chargers in the upset, but the problem with the Chargers right now to me, while they've looked pretty good on defense, I've got some questions about their offense. So watch their defense to keep them in this game, but I see their offense making, like, whether it's just they can't finish the drive or they just make like a dumb mistake, and I don't know if they turn it over or if it's just just third down becomes fourth down or penalties, and they're just seeming, it just seems a little. They scored like 20 points and then 17 points. It's kind of like a question about that. Are they having some issues in this? Because the real question is they scored very few against the Washington, and people also excuse that. But then you look at how they performed against Dallas, a defense that's very questionable, and they only put up 17. So against the Cowboys. So you're wondering, like, all right, well, there's back-to-back games now with offensive struggle. Now they're going into a hostile environment on the road against one of their division rivals, who's going. It's going to be hostile. So. Give me the Chiefs over the Chargers in that one. I don't really think there's much analysis to add to this, but like, I don't know. Some of these games I just don't have a lot to say on. The Steelers are 3.5-point favorites with an over/under of 43.5. I think that line's a little low. I think the Steelers win this game 27-17. I think their defensive front overwhelms the Bengals' lack of an offensive line. I think the Bengals can stick around because of their quarterback and a pretty decent defense, but in the end, let's go Steelers over the Bengals. I just don't think the Bengals have the offense to overcome that defense. Cleveland Browns playing the Chicago Bears. This game is, the Bears. Cleveland Browns playing the Chicago. Yeah, the Bears are playing the Browns in Cleveland. So the Bears are 0-2. The Browns are 1-1. Browns are favored by 7.5 with an over/under of 46.5. I have to go with the Browns in this one. I think there's a lot of questions with the quarterback situation. Is Dalton starting? Is Fields starting? Because Dalton's injury wasn't as bad as everybody thought it could be. But is that enough to keep him out and we go to Fields? Can the Bears' really bad offensive line deal with the Browns' pass rush and rush defense that's starting to kind of come together? I mean, I have major questions about this one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this game because I think it's a fundamental mismatch for the Bears. I think the Bears' defense can keep them in this game, and they're going to play very well, I think. But I think in the end that the Bears I don't know if they'll be able to score a lot of points. I actually think one of those touchdowns I have up there actually is a defensive one. So take that as you will. I really think the Browns defense might swarm on this game. I know I've been saying that, but eventually it has to play well, right? Eventually. All right, so those are my first slate of 1 o'clock games. I think they're pretty good. Let's jump on to the next slate. Yeah, this game I don't really have a lot to say. Sorry, Lions fans. The Ravens play the Lions in Detroit. The Ravens are 1-1 and the Lions are 0-2. Ravens are 7 and a lot of big lines this week. Ravens are 7.5 point favorites with an over/under of 49.5. I got the Ravens winning this one. Right now, the Lions kind of seem like a mess. Their other corner got hurt. They were doing really well against Green Bay in the first half, and then they started turning the ball over, and then like their other corner got hurt, and Green Bay just started loading off points on them. And it just became quick points too. So it's, the Lions seem banged up. They don't really seem to know what they are as a team. It seems like they can play like one good half of football and then the rest is just pretty bad. And and when you're playing a team like the Ravens, who are having some tackling issues of their own, but are inevitably winning games on their running game that's going for a lot of yards, I believe they lead the NFL by like 106 yards or something like that, or 113 yards or something like that, which is wild to think about. So I don't know. This game won't be close. So give me the Ravens over the Lions. There's a couple duds this week. This will be a really good game. The New Orleans Saints play the New England Patriots. This should be one of the better games this weekend, I think, for the 1 o'clock slates. All right, you have to go with why I think this. Both teams are 1-1. Patriots -3 over/under 41.5. You have New England. You have New England's defense playing very well. We already have 5 interceptions this season. Against a quarterback who is prone to be baited into interceptions. So we have a team and a defense that is historically good at baiting teams into making turnovers happen. Like the Patriots defense is built to, like, we can get a lot of turnovers in New England. They're very good at that. They're very that's kind of how their defense works. It kind of like baits quarterbacks into bad throws, running backs into bad lanes, and you can get the ball punched out. It's a very, very well put together system there for the Patriots. Right now, the Saints, they come off the big win against the Packers team that looked kind of lost in week 1. Then they play a Panthers team that understands themselves and get kind of beat around a little bit. Jameis kind of reverts back to the old Jameis a bit. And the Saints look suddenly very beatable for a Patriots team that seems to be the opposite of the Saints, right? They came in not really sure what the quarterback was, and now the quarterback's starting to feel himself, had a really good second week. Hopefully they can kind of get the things going and score more than just field goals against the Saints, which you're going to have to do. But I think this game's going to go like this. I think the Patriots really take advantage of the fact that Jameis is a little turnover prone, get him into a couple bad interceptions, maybe cause a fumble or two, and they kind of win this game based on the strengths of their defense. Mac does just enough to keep them in this game and possibly win it. So I'll take the Patriots in a very close, good game that's decided by defense and Mac Jones not really making mistakes. That's really what this game is going to have to be for this to happen, and I think that's kind of how it plays out. So give me the Patriots 20-17. I don't know. What do you want me to say? The Cardinals play the Jaguars. Of course, the Jaguars blowing them out 130 to 0. Oh, I forgot the 0 at the end of that 13. It's supposed to say 31 to 130, not 31 to 13. That would be stupid. Why would you think the Cardinals would win? Ugh. I hope people understand what sarcasm is and look at the screen. But yeah, I have the Cardinals winning 31-13. I don't really see a contest. All right, here's the last of the 1 p.m. games. This should actually be a really good one as well. The Buffalo Bills host the Washington football team. The Bills are 8.5 point favorites with an over/under of 45.5. Safe to say the Bills woke up last week. I figured they would, kind of like the Packers woke up. You've seen a couple teams just kind of click it together and like wake the hell up. Whereas with Washington, they did win and they looked pretty good, but I have major questions about their team right now. Like their defense doesn't look as good as it should. Their offense isn't really anything special. I don't know. Washington needs a win over a team like Buffalo to kind of reestablish themselves as like a serious team. If not, they're just the 6-10 team that like, or what were they, 7-9? Like, I don't remember. They were a 500 team that won a division, and like they kind of are playing like that right now. Whereas like the Cowboys are actually kind of playing like a team that like got screwed last year because the quarterback got hurt, and now they're back. So like let's see what if Washington can play here, but Buffalo's back. They just destroyed Miami, who looked really good in week 1. So give me the Bills 28-17 over two teams seeming to go in the opposite directions after after week 2 wins. Even though Washington won, it seems like they have a few questions you want to know, whereas Buffalo, you're like, all right, they seem to be back from last year. Give me the Bills over the football team. Broncos over the Jets. Oh, well, Broncos play the Jets, and I have the Broncos beating the Jets. Broncos, I think, have the biggest line at 10.5 this week, which is crazy to look at. Over under of 41.5 though. Yeah, I would take the Broncos. I really wouldn't. 4 interceptions by Wilson last week. That is bad. This was the hardest game. This is one of the hardest games besides the Tampa and the Rams game to pick from this week. I don't know if Tua's playing this week. It seems like he might be because it didn't seem like that serious an injury. But if he misses this week, I got the Raiders by 1,000. Even with Tua playing, it seems like there's questions to me about the Dolphins offense. Dolphins play the Raiders in Las Vegas, 2-0 Raiders, another surprise 2-0 team, take on the Dolphins, who are 1-1. Raiders are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 45.5. I do not like what I'm looking at when I see the Dolphins offense. Bad offensive line. The run game doesn't seem to be able to get going. The receiving game, obviously, with Tua going down, can't really judge that. But it just seems like there's a lot of questions about their offense. Their defense, normally very good, just got destroyed by the Bills. I don't know if they were tired. I don't know if, having to be on the field as long as they were just really got to them. I have so many questions about the Dolphins right now. And the Raiders right now, they play very good at the start of the season and then eventually just crash out. So it's easy to kind of forget that and then think like, oh snap, here come the Raiders. And then by the time everybody starts believing in them, it's like that week 7, they just start losing games. So I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one because I really don't know what's going on in Miami right now. I mean, they look good against the Patriots, but that was a rookie team. The Raiders are pretty veteran filled right now. So plus, I think Carr leads the league in passing yards. I don't know after week 2, Monday night, but isn't that crazy? All right, here's a game that should be pretty good. Sorry, Vikings fans. You guys are just, I don't know what's going on. You guys are unlucky. The Seahawks play the Vikings in Minnesota. The Seahawks are 1-1, and the Vikings are 0-2. The Seahawks are 1.5-point favorites with an over-under of 55.5. This is another one of those games that feel really hard to figure out who's going to win. And that if the Vikings win, I'm going to be really upset because at first I had them winning. But then I went, I want to see him win a game before I pick him. Plus, this feels like one of those games where Kirk Cousins kind of comes up small in because he's playing another really good team with a really good quarterback. And oftentimes, these are the games that Kirk Cousins goes, he becomes Kurt, his evil twin Kirk Cousins, who can't play quarterback and just stinks. I don't think that'll be the case. I kind of see a shootout coming. I don't know. Tell me I'm wrong on this one. I don't really care. That's fine by me. I don't know. This is the one I don't have an explanation for it. I just really feel like Seattle's gonna win. I don't really want to talk about why I have this prediction. It's really hard to pick against Tom Brady, but I have the Rams beating the Bucs. I know you were ready to type biased piece of shit, but Bucs are 1.5-point favorites with an over-under of 55.5. I guess this is my upset of the week. I guess. But the thing is, I've almost seen the Bucs. I almost seen the Bucs in week 1 choke it to the Cowboys, and then in week 2, there was a point where the Falcons were like down by 3, and then Brady just went absolutely berserk and just blew them out. They just couldn't score again. So I have questions, really, I do, about Tampa giving up almost 30 to 2 straight teams, going up against an offense like the Rams that can run very, very well, pass very, very well, play defense very, very well. So I have these questions about the Buccaneers defense. Now, if this game goes into a shootout, what happens? Do I trust the Rams defense or the Bucs defense to make a stop? Ironically enough, I could see the Rams defense, which is very, very good, making a stop on Brady, whether it be Ramsey make a big play stop or they get to Brady and sack him. It's just one of those things where it's like, I do not trust the Bucs defense right now. They seem kind of questionable for half the game. And if that's the case, the Rams are going to take advantage of that and just kind of throttle it down the field with Stafford and company. That seems to be their game plan. Plus, this game is in Los Angeles. I think that's a big plus for the Rams. Yeah, I know it's crazy to pick against Brady, but I really do believe that I have the questions I have about the Bucs defense for at least a half a game, and then we'll see. The Rams have a very good defense. I feel like if this game comes down to a shootout, what defense do I trust to get a weird stop more than any other team? I trust the Rams defense way more than the Bucs to get a big weird stop. And I know that sounds crazy, but I don't know. It's just something weird about the Bucs right now. They seem more beatable than the Rams do, because both these teams are so good. It's so hard to pick between these two teams who's going to win this game. But right now, the Rams seem more unbeatable than the Bucs do. I mean, it seems impossible to outscore with the Bucs, but the Rams can score with them. So you have to go to their defenses, and look at the Rams defense is better than the Bucs defense. So that's really the major difference here. So give me the Rams in a crazy good game. All right. Though Green Bay won and looked like they were finally figuring themselves out, and they scored 2 out of 3 times they had the ball in the first half. So even in the first half, they looked really good. Their defense was kind of slow coming to it. Aaron Rodgers just sucks against the 49ers. I don't know what it is. This dude just can't beat the 49ers. I'm sorry. I know Green Bay fans are going to be like, actually, he's pretty good against the 49ers in the regular season. I'm going to be like, yeah, sure, okay. The Kyle Shanahan era one, he's sure the fuck isn't. And I don't any other team, I'd have the Packers destroying whoever they would be playing this week. If it's any condolences, running into the 49ers, worse luck for the Packers. It's literally the 49ers and like the Bucs are like the worst team for this Packers team to play. It seems like anybody else they can, and I guess the Saints, but anybody else, I feel very confident when I say the Packers can beat. 49ers are not one of those teams that I feel very confident that the Packers can beat. It's just something about this iteration of the 49ers. Aaron just doesn't play well against them. I wanted to pick the Packers this week. I'm being very honest when I say that. I think they're actually back to being good. I was dead wrong about there any kind of, like we said there might be some kind of weird conspiracy. Not happening. He just had a bad first week. He's back. The Packers will be good. They'll get their shit together, but they're going to lose like 4 games this year. This might be one of them. This is just an unfortunate game for them. The 49ers are if there's one bad team that Rodgers has, it's literally this team. So, and the 49ers are playing like weird good football where they just are doing enough to win, and that's kind of even scarier than just playing good football. So, give me the 49ers in what should be an interesting game for Aaron Rodgers. What's Monday night? Oh, yeah, game I don't really give a shit about. Give me the Cowboys over the Eagles. I'm done. All right, so, yeah, I'm not kidding. I don't really have much analysis. Cowboys are a better team. Eagles got lucky in week 1 and won. The Eagles are a lot better than I thought they were going to be. But, I'll split this series, and more than likely I'll just take the home team unless the Cowboys are very good when they play the Eagles again. But give me the Cowboys right now. They looked really good against the Chargers, held the Chargers to 17 with their defense, and their offense did enough to go get a win. Give me the Cowboys 28-16. Philly had their chance to beat the 49ers and choked it. So, anyway, like I said, 16-6 on my picks so far this season. I think I'm doing quite well. I really hope you enjoyed the picks this week. Hopefully, we do much better than we have been. Hopefully, we're about 12 or 13. That'd be pretty cool. Hopefully, not just another 10-6 week, though. We'd get over 500. I just would like to kind of skyrocket over the 500 mark. So, hopefully this week goes quite well for us. Let me know what you think of my picks down below. I'll be sure to get back to your comment as soon as I can. And I'll be sure to comment back, share your picks, all that fun stuff. Let me know your record. All of the good fun stuff we've been doing all season regarding the pick'em. All the stuff we've always done regarding pick'em. You know how it is. Hopefully, if it's your first season, just remember, leave your picks, all that fun stuff down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Leave a like, subscribe, all that YouTube crap that people are always like, yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new around it. All that YouTube jazz or whatever. But yeah, so, all right, we're already at week 3, pretty good. Hopefully week 3 is better than week 2. Definitely is going to be better than week 1. Can't get much worse than 6-10. But, yeah, we can get better than 10-6. So hopefully we can do better than that. So that's it. It's already a pretty long video, so I'm going to get the hell out of here before it's 25. Thank you guys so much for listening. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed a little bit longer than years past picks videos. It seems like they're doing well, so I'm going to interpret that you guys are enjoying the longer content. So I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for everyone who subscribed. We're going to hit 6,500 subscribers soon. Very cool. Thank you guys so much. Very kind. All right. Wow, we might actually hit 7,000 before the year. But okay, cool guys. Thank you. We'll be I'll be commenting back like really quickly here on that, whatever. Just all right. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day and night whenever you listen. Peace out. Go Patriots. Go Lions. And Blick.